this thing working? All right. We had to kind of throw a little impromptu thing up here together because I was having technical difficulties, so bear with me. Let's see. Oh, it's sideways. That's not good. But, well, my lesson tonight, my devotional is going to be about courage. Many of you have seen this video, this movie that's just come out in the movie theaters, and it's called Courageous. And Amanda and I went and saw it, and the whole time, and a little bit afterwards, I've been wondering, what is courage? What is courageousness exactly? Webster's dictionary defines it as basically having the strength and the perseverance of the mind and or the body to get through difficulties. And let's see. Did you know that courage is non-exclusive to any age, gender, or nationality? Anybody can show great courage at any time, whether they are small, whether they are big, whether they are a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Courage resides inside of us. Think about it. Whenever you see somebody act courageous, or you yourself do a courageous deed, you tend to remember that moment in your mind very vividly for the rest of your life. Now, the moments that you remember that you kind of get that sick feeling in your stomach because you could have stood up and did something, but you sat back down and you didn't act courageous, those are the moments that you regret. Courageous moments make us feel strong and passionate about and good about who we are. It can be hard, I know. Sometimes we think, or we see things either at school or at work that are not very cool. They make us think, that ain't right. Sometimes you may think, if you haven't practiced using courage in your life, sometimes you may think, do I say something? Nah, they'll just get mad at me. I'll just sit here and listen for a while, and then I'll say something when the time is right. Ooh, that guy is really big, and he's really popular. I'm just going to sit back, because he knows, he's got more friends, and he knows better than me. Don't think that way. What we should say is, hey, you big bully, pick on somebody your own size. I like your language, so would you please stop it, or I'm not telling you. You know, I really don't want you to smoke around me, so please put it out. You know, this one's really important to me because I've got a lot of friends, or people that used to be my friends, and some of them have actually stopped being my friends because I've pulled this on them so many times. I said, I don't like you taking the Lord's name in vain, so you stop it now. It's just these little things these things actually do happen in our lives. And it's these little things, let's see, what do you call them? Examples of courage that can help promote a more courageous lifestyle. Some examples of courage from the Bible include David versus Goliath. Yes, and earlier this summer we did a little vacation Bible school skit, and Sam, he got to play David, and I got to play Goliath, and he got to throw the stones at me, and I got to be slewn by David. And it worked really well for the kids, and it gave them a good example of how someone very small, like in this picture right here, could stand up to someone so mighty. Goliath was an unstoppable tank that the other side that they had, and no one was even brave enough to even step on the same battlefield as him. And David walked in one day and said, hey, something ain't right here. And he stood up to him and he slew him. Queen Esther, she's a great example of, in the Bible, that what I said earlier, that courage is not exclusive to any age, gender, or nationality. This is a great example of how a woman stood up and she marched right into the chambers of the king, knowing full well that she could be executed just for showing up without, being unannounced. And she didn't care. She wanted to save her people. And so she marched in there and stood up to the king, and her courage paid off, and her people were saved. Sometimes our courage, we see the example of courage exemplified in a lion. Sometimes our courage is like the lazy lion right there. We just want to sit and just be still. Sometimes it's like the coward lion. We will not get up at all. And it looked a lot better when it was big. We should always try to make sure that we exemplify our courage like the mighty lion, Simba or Mufasa from the Lion King. Yeah, everybody can relate to that. 6 easy examples of how to exemplify courage. Take advantage of new opportunities. I know sometimes it's really hard to step out of your comfort zone and do things that you're not used to, but take advantage of it. Defend someone that cannot defend themselves. There's no feeling in the world like standing up for somebody and helping them, and it's awesome. Help others less fortunate than you. Yes, that sometimes it is a little embarrassing, or it makes you feel a little weird if you want to stop on the side of the road while there's traffic going around and help someone out. A couple of years ago, I was out jogging, and I was just going to cross the street, and I saw this little old lady that was, she was just waiting there. So I stood out in the middle of the road and made everybody stop for me. So that's probably really, don't do that. But it's the little things that stand up and give a speech, kind of like what I'm doing right now. It is not easy. I don't see how Eddie does it from week to week, or anybody else gets up and does it, but it does promote a courageous lifestyle. Maybe that is how. Yeah, that's how it is. All right. Participate in sports. There's thousands of different sports out there. There's individual ones and team ones. And the thing about courage in sports that you got to remember is that it's not the first game that your nerves are going to be at their highest. It's actually the first practice. I know for me it was very hard. I actually quit my first football team the first day of practice because I was so nervous. And I came back a few years later with a little more, muscle and a little more courage and a little more of a backbone, and I think we did really well. And it says 6, and these are only 5 because I saved the greatest of them all for last. Obey the gospel. This is not easy for a lot of people. It shouldn't be easy for anyone to just make an empty commitment. This is not something to be taken lightly, and it does take a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to stand up and obey the gospel. Do not be afraid to stand up and shout to the heavens that you love the Lord and keep His commandments. Do not be afraid to confess your sins and your struggles. There are thousands and millions of people out there that are having the same, if not more, struggles with the same things that you are, and that you can learn from them and they can learn from you. Be courageous for yourself and be courageous for Jesus. If you haven't obeyed the gospel, or you have and you have fallen away and you've struggled, then I would hope that you can find the courage in yourself to stand up and come together as we sing.